In this video, we're going to have a look at completing the square, but specifically where there's a negative number in front of the x squared. We call that a coefficient in maths. A lot of students struggle with this, and the trick is you want to factor out that number from the first two terms. So in this case, we're going to factor out minus 3 from the first two terms, and I'll mention why we're only factoring out from the first two terms later on. When you do that, to multiply minus 3 onto minus 3x squared, you have to multiply x squared. To go from minus 3 to minus 18x, you add 6x. And then this plus 2, we're sort of just going to leave it added on towards the end. Now you always want to factor out something so that the coefficient of x squared becomes just 1. Our goal now is to complete the square, but only on the inside of the bracket that we just formed. So let's sort of write this out to the left hand side, and let's go about doing that. I'm just going to move everything to the left a little bit. You halve the coefficient of x. In this case, half of 6 is 3. We put that in a bracket with x all squared. Now, when you're squaring a bracket, that's the same as just multiplying the bracket by itself. You guys are doing AS maths. I'm sure you guys know how to expand out the brackets. So it just becomes x squared plus 6x plus 9. Now, the thing that we're trying to replace is just x squared plus 6x. But we currently have all of this. To go from what we need to get to from all of this, we have to subtract 9 from this, because then you'll be left with x squared plus 6x. You then want to replace the inside of the bracket with everything that you wrote that it can be replaced by. So we're now going to have minus 3, we're going to form big brackets, and inside of that we're going to put the completely the squared form. So we have x plus 3 all squared, take away 9. Again, we just leave the plus 2 added on at the end. Sort of just treat this as just something that you have to add on at the end of every step. Now that we have minus 3 outside the bracket, we can multiply onto everything inside the bracket. Now when you multiply onto this squared term, you can't multiply to the inside of the bracket because there's a power of 2 involved. Instead, you just leave it outside of the bracket, and that's how you show that it's been multiplied. However, when you do minus 3 times minus 9, do be careful of the signs. That'll give you positive 27. You can't just multiply those together. And then once again, we're just going to leave that plus 2 on. But now what we're able to do is 27 plus 2 is 29. So I'm just going to replace this with 29. And that's your final answer. Now it says a, b, and c are integers. Some students get confused, but integers could also be negative. It could also be 0, depending on the question. Now, a bit of a bonus, but if you wanted to get the turning point from here, the x coordinate of the turning point is the x value that makes the inside of the bracket equal to 0. In this case, that's minus 3. And the y coordinate of the turning point is just this constant that you have at the end. In this case, it's just 29. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully it helped. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped. If you have any tutoring inquiries, be sure to visit my website, www.excellineducation.co.uk. It's on the first link in the description too.